Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Picked up another snowblower. Picked up this Cadet. It's a 26-inch 3-stage blower. Don't have too much details on this exact one. I believe this might be about 8 years old or so. So still pretty new unit, pretty decent condition. I picked this up about 2 nights ago. Had to drive a little bit out of my town up in North Bay, Ontario to get it. Picked up for 250 bucks. So again, $250 Canadian, so I think a pretty good deal. The newer versions of these sell at Home Depot, I think, for like $2,800. So with tax, you're over $3,000 for them. I've already actually done a little bit of work to this. When I picked it up, older guy who said he was having some problems with it, so just went out and bought a new one. It didn't need much. The only things that I had to do to it, because it was making a heck of a noise whenever you ran the augers, the belt was just shot on it. So I put a new $18 belt on it. He was also saying that this chute sticks a little bit, and you just have to really, you have to pull that button in a little bit harder. It does stick a little bit. I put a little bit of lubricant on it. You can hear there, it just clicks in a little bit. There we go. Okay, now it's worked. I think it might have just been frozen. So I just put a little bit of lubricant on the bottom section where the two plastic pieces connect. And other than that, now it's working fine. And the end chute adjuster's working good. And one more thing that was an issue with it is his reverse selector. Reverse 1, which is supposed to be the slowest reverse setting, didn't work at all. It would just stay stationary. And then reverse 2, which is supposed to be pretty quick, it was a snail's pace, hardly moved. And again, so just on the bottom here, you can adjust that a little bit so your friction disc just kind of aligns with the plate a little bit better. And about 5 minutes of screwing around with that, runs great. So $250, this guy went out and replaced with a brand new $2,000 blower when he could have spent $18 on a new belt and 10 minutes of tinkering around on the other things. I think this is my 12th snowblower now, and fun fact about that, it's the only one that's ever come with one of these sticks. I've never bought a snowblower secondhand, of course, that's come with one of those, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Another thing you'll notice on this one as well, all this black crap. There's not too much on that side, but certainly on the other side, just all in there. I might take the time to clean it off. I don't know if I care that much. It's just all rubber from that belt. I guess he tried to run it for quite a while. It's just rubber, so I have to clean off pretty easily. The auger housing looks pretty good. I definitely need to flip these shoes around. The bottom, I think, is, well, at least adjusted anyways. Maybe they're not too worn down. This one's a bit more worn down, so I'll flip these both over. The augers and everything seem to be in good shape. Nice build-up and crap in there. I checked the oil on it. Oil level looked good. Not to mention the oil's clean, which that's rare. So I did take a video of changing the belt. It was very rushed and at nighttime in my shed, so the lighting's not very good. I'll add it in on the tail end of this video, but maybe I'll try and get some shots of this thing blowing some snow, because we've certainly got some snow last night and into this morning. So let's go ahead and I'll unload this and I'll try and get some shots. Okay, so hopefully you got to see it in action a little bit there. You know, honestly, my true opinion on this, and a little context, I had the exact same blower as this, and that was my primary blower this year. I sold it about a week ago when I bought myself a Honda, and yeah, I'm not going to compare it to the Honda because I really don't think there's much of a comparison. But, so, you know, I have a bit of experience with this machine, and, you know, I don't think I'd recommend it. I've used and owned maybe a dozen blowers over the last few years doing this, buying and selling now, working on them. This thing, for the cost of it, for the fact that this new is over $3,000 Canadian, it just feels heavy and clunky. It doesn't throw the snow very far. This mechanism that they've used on this chute sucks and it sticks all the time. It clogs up. It doesn't even, like, this is light, fluffy, powdery snow. It's like -20 outside. It's as easy as snow as you're going to get to blow. And this thing just limps it out of the chute not very far. And it has a brand new belt on it. The tension's perfect. So, I mean, if you guys want to drop in the comments your opinion and your experience with these machines, or if there's something I'm missing, but this is the second one, machine, the exact same with this, that I've owned, and I've both just been pretty unimpressed with them. You know, it gets you by. It certainly works. I'm also not sold on the whole 3-stage thing. I've found that a normal 2-stage snowblower works just as fine or better than most 3 stages. But let me know what you guys think. I'll probably sequence this video where it's, you know, bringing it off the trailer, doing some snow blowing, and if you guys want to stick around to see the belt change, I'll tag that in afterwards. Be warned, it's not the best. If you guys made it this far and you like the videos, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll try and get some more content out soon. Okay, so first step, we're going to go ahead and change the belt on this blower, the auger belt that is. So you're going to want to remove a bolt from both sides of this belt cover. I've already removed both of those. And this belt cover, I'm going to play with it for a minute, but should just shimmy right off. Toss that to the side. And so this is your drive belt in here. I don't have any suspicions that that's gone, but my auger belt is completely destroyed at this point. There's fraying everywhere. It's very loose, and you can see there's rubber residue just all over the place. So we're going to go ahead and change this. Step 2 to that process is this little retainer piece that goes along there. Just take out these 2 bolts, remove that piece, and then we'll be on to the next step. Okay, so we've done that. We've removed that little protector thing to keep the belt on the top, and then just pull the belt off to the front. Next from there, we're just going to go ahead, flip it up on end into the service position. The owner's manual does say drain all the fuel. I'm not going to. I wouldn't do it on a completely full tank. When we flip this up, as long as the fuel isn't up over where this cap is, I think I'm going to be happy. I'll keep an eye out for leaking fuel, but that's just me. Okay, so once you got it flipped up into the service position, grab yourself a 3/8 socket. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Should just be 4 bolts to take off here so we can access underneath. I'm trying to work relatively quickly here. I definitely do smell a little bit of fuel, so probably best to take the extra time and drain the fuel out of it. Or if you know your belt's on the way out, just wait until you finally finish your last tank of gas, it empties out, and then ask your cue to go ahead and change the belt. And their service panel, just like so, should pop right up out of there. There we go. Okay, from there, let's see, get a little better shot. There we go. So, again, this is our drive, this is our auger belt here, so this is what we want to take off and replace. So you're going to notice there's a bolt on here. It's just to keep the belt from slipping off. So we're just going to loosen this off and probably just take it right out of there, and then work to get this belt freed up, take that out, and then replace it. Okay, so we got that done. It's going to take a little bit of jimming around, so take this right off. And then you'll find this part is in the way as well. If you reach forward to your tensioner wheel and give that a push, I can find it, give that a push, that opens up that section there so you can get the belt off on that side. Again, you just kind of jimmy the old one out, and remember the same way you got it out is the same way you're going to put the new belt back in. So we'll go ahead, we'll get the cap put back on here and flip it back up on its right side. All right, so we got the service cover put back on the bottom, flipped it upright, and then from there we just need to move this into position. Put this on the other side of this tensioner. Like so. I'd actually need to do that after the fact. The other side. Make sure it is all the way lined up, which it looks like it. Okay, well, in true fashion, my tripod knocked over and it broke. So off camera, I finished putting this on. So the belt's on. Remember one thing as well, this tensioner wheel, you can adjust it as your belt gets aged and it starts to stretch out. You'll take this bolt and you'll keep moving it inwards a little bit. So whenever you apply your auger handle, it just applies a bit more tension. When you have a fresh belt on here, that's as tight of a belt as you're gonna get on it. So make sure you back this wheel all the way off. If you leave it all the way pushed in, you do run the chance of damaging something, namely your belt, probably. So before we change this one, this is the old belt here. At first it didn't look too bad, but then I got to this point here where it's narrowed and completely chewed up. So whenever I ran this, it just made a terrible racket, and it almost sounded like a flange bearing or something was busted in it, and it was terribly noisy. But as you'll see now, we can go ahead and start it up. And it operates just as it should. So all I got to do now, put the cover back on there, and this thing's pretty well set. I think the only thing that I do need to do with this blower as well, take this handle off, is adjust the friction disc a little bit. So one thing the guy that I bought this from told me, he said, yeah, one, he figures the belt is gone. He was correct on that. And then he also figured there was something wrong with the drive. He didn't know what it was. There's supposed to be 6 forward and 2 rear. R1, which is the slowest reverse, doesn't work. And R2, which on I had the exact same snowblower as this, was quite quick. On this one, it's slow as can be. He didn't know what the problem was. I figure I just need to make some adjustments here. That'll kind of change where that friction disc on the drive plate goes. Pardon my probably not correct terminology, but that's what I figure is going on with that. So for a future video, for now, I'm happy with this. You know, this video might seem a little bit rushed, and that's because it is. It's getting dark out and it's crappy weather, so I don't want to be outside for too long. But that was the major part. Like, as for now, this blower, you know, 250 bucks Canadian, to literally just put a new belt on it and have a functional snowblower, not bad. It's got this toggle handle. It seems a little bit stiff, but quite frankly, these things are crap. I've had a few of these. This was my second of this snowblower now, and that system, Cadet, I think they went away with it because it sucks. It's a terrible system, so I'm glad to see that they changed that up a little bit. Yeah, either way. Well, this is the new snowblower. A couple more things to do with it, and then on Marketplace it goes.